Most people that come to me talk to me about that they need to improve their lead flow, they need to improve their leads, they need to improve their calls, they need to get more clients, and they're sick and tired of doing referrals only, getting referrals and having no consistency and their lead flow fluctuating every single month. And whenever I go more deep on them, there's always two reasons why they are not able to scale to the level that they want to. One of these things is, yes, you need to have a consistent system that doesn't fluctuate month by month. But the other thing is a thing that most people see and know of, but they don't actually improve it. And that specific thing is their niche. Now, this might sound to you as something you've heard before, but it's so crucial that you actually understand your audience to the degree that you can specify your ad copies, your ads, your landing page, and all of the things that you're doing also in your sales call, in your entire business to this audience. And the moment you don't do that is the moment you will realize that this will be the key thing that will be holding you back from growing your business. So that's the reason why in today's video, I'm going to give you a full niche breakdown on how you can optimize your niche. Because if you're watching this video already, you would be doing anywhere from 5 to 15K to maybe even more. And you would already have clients in that specific audience that you are working in, but you haven't optimized it to a degree that where you can go to the niche and speak to them more directly. You will also be able to scale the level that you're at right now to an even higher level and get to 30K, 50K, or 100K. So I want to take you through this video and show you all the inside outs of the exact niche and how you can optimize it in a way you can scale your business predictably without fluctuation. So without further ado, let's get into the video, take notes, and let's get it going regarding your niche. What's up everybody, Stefan here, and welcome to a brand new module of the Business Blueprint Advanced. And in today's module, I'm super excited to bring you one of the, I would say like probably one of the most important modules of this entire program, because the moment we don't have something that has to do with the niche, clarification and depth of the niche is the exact moment where we're going to be having a very, very hard time maximizing our ads, our funnels, our outreach, our inbound, everything. And I see so many people struggling, even at a high level, like doing 20K, 50K a month, that simply don't understand their niche. And I've seen one exact pattern come by with people that do more than 100K a month, and that is that they understand their niche, which is the reason why they dominate their market, which is the reason why I wanted to make this module for you. So it's going to be an in-depth module where I'm going to be talking to you about the importance of the niche, but also how you can understand your niche and then having a worksheet that goes with it so you can get to the point where you will know your market so well that the moment you go into like your offer and all these things, you will understand clearly what they actually need and what their main constraints are going to be in why they shouldn't work with you or should work with you, and what pretty much their core problems are, their core desires, their core things that actually is holding them back from working with you. Now, with that being said, let's get right in, and you're gonna learn how to create clarity, attract the right clients, and dominate your market. So without further ado, let me get into the module itself. So I'll just put myself in here and let's get into it. So the core principle is we are not here to pick a niche. Like we're going to, have a niche, we're going to understand the niche, but I want you to dominate your niche. I want you to be the top of the food chain in your niche. I want you to be the person that, people in your niche look up to in a way that they see you and they know you are the person that can solve their problems, desires, and pain points. Like you are that person. They go to you because they know you can help them. They know that their problems, what they have, is the thing that you can clearly help them with, right? So what I notice is that most beginners, or even some people doing good numbers in our industry, they think, oh, I just need to pick something and test it, and regardless of if I have an understanding of the niche, I just need to get started and start selling. Which, in my opinion, is kind of like, saying, oh, I need to sell water to everyone that maybe wants water, which is kind of like vague, right? You don't know if people want water that you're targeting. So what seven-figure operators think about, and what I think about, and what I want to teach you to think about, is that you need to think like this. I need to understand the market deeply enough to dominate it. Not just pick something and test it. You need to understand it deeply and then enough to pretty much be the best in that specific industry. Like if you think about all the big people in the market, like they all have a niche. They all have all have the way that they're speaking to the people and the understanding of their market in such a way that if you were to ask them, like, okay, who do you target? They would say clearly who they are helping. And it would be clear for you to understand who they are helping, even though you're not in their niche, right? So what we need to do is we need to have clear client problems, what they have, what problems they have. We need to know the competitors in the market. We need to know the market gap, right? We need to know these things. When we know these things, we can play into that. When we don't know these things, it becomes vague. So the goal for us is not entering entering a market, right? Like anyone can enter a market and do it broad and then get some results, but not get the result that we want. Like the result that we want is going to 100K a month. Like that's the goal. So if you want to get to 50K a month, then okay, that's different. Like that's of course the first stage that we're going to go into. But for everyone that is not yet doing 30K, 50K, or 100K, this becomes the clear thing that needs solving or clarification. The goal for us is becoming the obvious choice inside the market. We don't enter a market, we become the obvious choice. So when people think about ads in the European market, they think about us. That's what I want. I want to speak to the niche in such a way that I know their core pain points. And the goal is, as I said, like the obvious choice inside of it. And this can only happen when you have a deep understanding of the core needs. And for me, this means knowing you as maybe a coach that you are, or a marketing agency owner, or an AI automation agency owner, or a consultant, right? Understanding you to the point where I have such a good understanding of you. And that's why in this module, that understanding that I have of you, I want you to learn how to do for your niche. And in this module, that's exactly what we'll be figuring out on a deeper level and how you can do this for your own niche. And I would really recommend you to spend at least 2 hours on this. At least, minimum, 2-3 hours. And really understand the people and do the research that we're going to be doing with, like the worksheet I'm going to give you at the end of this module. Okay? So I'm going to put you to work. So prepare. Now, that being said, what happens when your niche is weak? I'll just give you some examples on when your niche is weak. So the example on the left-hand side, if you're an agency owner and you say, I help businesses with marketing, what can happen is that you might get calls, but you might get calls with like random local businesses that are all different niches. You might get the random local businesses, people with low budgets, people who just want to try ads, people don't even know what they want, people who want to like play you on the budget, do no cure, no pay. And on the call, they'll ask for discounts. They'll say you're expensive. They'll compare you to cheap people or lead comparisons websites. They don't respect your process. And you might think, oh, my ads are wrong. Maybe my funnel is good. Maybe I need to test 4 niches. I had someone come to me and say, Stefan, I need to test 4 niches. I'm like, well, you don't have to test 4 niches. You can just do more research on one, get to know them better, and just base your entire strategy off of that in the next 3 months. Test that, go for that, and do that. Like, why do 4 niches? Just do one. You're making it too complicated. So the truth is, you're talking to the wrong people. It's not that your ads are wrong or funnels. You're talking to the wrong people in the wrong way 9 out of 10 times. You're talking in the wrong way, right? And for a coach, you could maybe be a coach and say, oh, well, I help entrepreneurs scale their business. Too broad. You will attract beginners, maybe starting beginners. We don't specify, are they experienced? Do they make a certain amount? Who are they? What are their pain points? Just like too broad. Their business, that can be anything. That's too broad. Now, I'm not saying you cannot get clients with this. I'm just saying if you want to do it in a way where you can scale efficiently to 30, 50, 100K a month, well, then it becomes a thing. The niche becomes a thing because you cannot scale on something that is a half. You cannot scale on something that's too broad. Like, you can do that in the future like Alex Hormozi did, but he, for 4 or 5 years, was in the gym launch space. Like, he was launching gyms and personal training businesses for 4 or 5 years. People don't know this. And now he went broad. So when people look at his content, he says, go broad. Well, yeah, you go broad once you have specified, because if you don't specify, you go broad and you're competing against everyone. Whereas with specification, you don't compete with that many people. You compete with less people, right? If I need to compete on people, teaching people how to do ads, I compete with a lot smaller audience than competing with people that, for example, like Alex Hormozi, teach people how to grow a business. So if you do that as a coach, you will attract beginners with no money. You will have people jumping from program to program, people who need mindset but won't take action. So very like on the lower echelon of like wanting to join a program. On the call, they say, I need to think about it. They can afford it. They don't have the money. They don't fully understand your value. You might think also, I might need a better VSL. The VSL is not working. Maybe I need better closing. But again, you're talking to the wrong niche. So if your niche is not sharp, you will always feel friction in your business, and no tactic will fix that. No outbound ad system, inbound system, content system will fix your niche understanding. It simply won't do it. And it might seem slower. It might seem like you're limiting yourself. But this is not a limitation. This is a specification. This is becoming not a generalist, but becoming a specialist. Earning more because you specify to a specific market. And that's crucial in earning more and increasing your overall value of the program when you get a program sold or a service sold to someone. So that's something I really need you to understand. That is super important, is that if you don't specify your niche to a degree, you're going to have, same like with your ICP and your offer, which we're going to get into in the next modules, you're going to have an incredibly difficult time scaling. And you're never going to know exactly why it is that. You always blame it on something else. But that's why I say, like, if you understand these things, it will be worth so much for your business that on a longer period of time, you will thrive. You will win because you speak to some specific people and they will feel more that you speak towards them instead of speaking to all of the people. So what a strong niche actually looks like is it's specific, it's pain driven, right? So there's a specific pain. It's urgent, means that people want something now. Like, for example, if you're going to sell water and everyone has water, well, the urgency is not there. But if you have the cure for cancer, well, it's urgent because people have cancer. They don't want to, go away, if that makes sense, right? And then proven. People are already paying in that niche. People are already paying for an offer in that niche, right? And it's scalable. So that means even if we go specific, there need to be enough people in that niche so we can actually grow it to a certain extent, right? And it's not saying like these broad things like coaches, entrepreneurs, business owners. We don't do that. Like we go more specific. So we want to go specific, a specific type of person with a specific problem at a specific stage. That's usually what I say. And this is where the real leverage starts. So a specific type of person, a specific problem, and a specific stage. If you know that, we have a niche. Congratulations. And that's what we're going to do, right? So there's something I call the niche equation. And the niche equation has three things. So it pretty much goes niche times offer gets the result. So here's the thing. If your niche is clear, so who you serve, the specific person, stage, and problem, and you multiply that by the offer aka how you help them, your system, your service, your process, your program, then it will equal the result they get. So what they get, the transformation or the outcome, and those main things. So if this equation is clear, so niche times offer is result. If this equation is clear, everything scales. If this equation is unclear, everything breaks. So to give you an example, a good example in the agency space is a niche with med spa owners doing between 20 to 50K a month with specific types of like employees or amount of employees, let's say 5 or 3. The offer is paid ads and a funnel system. Now, we didn't specify the price, but let's say that's the thing that we're doing. And the result is, what they get is like 30 to 100 booked appointments per month, right? And as a coach, it could be, for example, female coaches stuck at 5 to 10K a month, right? That could be like the niche. And then the offer is the identity plus business scaling system, and the result is consistent 20K plus months without burnout. So this equation helps us understand that if we combine the niche and the offer, we'll get a specific result. And when we use the specific result, right, that we can get them, the outcome that we can get, and we brainstorm about that as well, well, then we come to the conclusion that we want specific things that can get them to a specific place with our offer. So the offer is solving the gap. It's solving where they are now to where they want to go to, and it solves that with like what's in between, right? So the offer is the middleman. The niche is speaking to these people, and the result is what they want. So the niche starts here, the offer is here, and the outcome is this. So if we know what outcome they want, we can mention the outcome in our messaging, in our positioning. If we know our offer, well, we can speak to that. And when we know our niche, we can specify the offer to tailor it to them and get a clear result on picture where they want to go to, from where they're standing to where they want to go to. Because we know their pain points. We know what they want. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. Very important, this niche equation, because, again, it's super important you understand that it all ties together. And we're going to take all of these things into consideration in the next module. So we're going to have the offer, we're going to have the results, we're going to have the messaging and all these things, and we're going to take that into account. So super important you understand this. Now there's 3 levels of niche clarity, because I don't want to stay surface level. We go 3 layers deep. So the first one is the surface level, like who are they, right? Who they are. Well, it's, for example, for me, it's marketing agency owners and coaches. Okay, not deep enough. So we got to go to the problem level. That's level 2. And that's what they struggle with daily. So for example, most of you guys, I know, struggle with outreach. That's why you're here. Or you're sick and tired of the outreach and you just want to do ads because it's more easy to acquire clients that way, similar to how you came to me. And that's why you know it works. So you want to do it for yourself too. But it's not deep enough. I got to go even deeper, which is level 3, the psychology level, which is why you're actually stuck. So you're not stuck maybe because you don't know how to figure out ads. You're simply stuck, right? Because you are afraid that if you put in the ads, you will have maybe a lot of risk on ads and spend a lot of money, and it will take you a long time to learn it, even with AI and all these things. So you invest in someone who has already done it 100 times before. Now that's a psychological level. That's a level to where you're unconsciously thinking about it all the time. And you're trying to maximize your results by looking for a solution, right? And that's exactly where the most people stop. And we're not going to do that in our worksheet. We're going to go deeper. We're going to go very deep. And I want you to go very, very deep when it comes down to the niche. And because we want a real niche domination. And that only happens at level 3. It doesn't happen at all these other levels. It doesn't. It will only work if you know exactly to the core what your niche is actually stuck with on a problem and a psychology level. And that's how deep we're going to go. Okay? So the way that I approach niche clarity is by simply not saying, like, just pick a niche. And I'm not going to have you do that. I'm going to have you refine the promise, sharpen the audience, remove vagueness, test the language, look at your competitors, align with real pain. A couple of other things as well to get started. And what we're going to do is not guess. I want you to look at the real data, real numbers, and then understand what keeps them awake at night. What are their frustrations? What are their fears? What are their current situations? Their income, exactly to the T. You can pretty much like know their alternatives and also know like their day in the life. Like we're gonna become a certified stalker, and it might sound very weird, but we want to know when they come on the call with you on a sales call, who they actually are, what they do. And it's possible for us to figure that one out before they come on the call, because we have so much data and information these day and age that we can do that very easily, right? So if you don't understand all the market reality things from your niche, your messaging simply won't land. It won't hit. It won't trigger them. It won't be hitting them in the face, if that makes sense, right? So furthermore, what we're going to be doing is clarifying and specifying like how they act, how they work, how they think, how they breathe, how much they breathe, right? Because if you understand that, you can then play into that. You can then give them the solution that fits their specific needs. So here's how we choose the right niche. Most people choose it on like skills or interests or comfort, and we don't do that. This is the wrong way of approaching it, like basing it off of like just like this, you know, like trying to see if it works like that. It doesn't. The market does not care about your skills. So a lot of people think because I have some skills, people will care about that. The market simply doesn't care. The market doesn't care. This is the number one lesson you need to screw in your like screw in your mind. Like it needs to be screwed in. So like what you need to understand is that the market only cares about what they want. The market only cares about what they want. They don't care about what you want. With all due respect, you might have a great skill. You might have some interests, some hobbies. You might have some comfort, like what you think is good. But it's not the thing that the market wants. Then you're not going to have a good niche. You might think they need it, but they don't. So the only thing that matters is what the market wants, and if they do have a painful problem, they will pay to solve. This is super important. This is super, super important. You can never have your own bias to what you want applied to the niche you're looking to target and help. Because the moment you do that, you're putting yourself in the place of your niche. And when you put yourself in the place of your niche, you're not your niche, and you're not going to sell as much as you could if you replace yourself and put yourselves in the shoes of your niche. A strong niche means, number one, what it means is that they have a problem they're willing to pay something for. If they want water, and I make water bottles, then I can sell them the water bottles. If they don't want the water, but I want it, it's my skill of making good water, well then it doesn't matter. And that's the misconception this entire industry has. They think, oh well, because I learned how to make websites, people will want websites. Well, that doesn't work like that. Your market might not want websites. Even though other people are selling websites, you might not want, the market might not need websites. They would not be willing to pay for it, maybe, right? So you gotta first figure these things out, what they want. A strong niche has urgency, desire, spending behavior. The wrong approach is you don't start with, what can I do? You start with, what does the market want solved? We flip it. It's not about you here. And sorry to hurt anyone's ego here, but it's not about your ego. It's not about you. You gotta put that to the side. If you want to be successful, similar to what Alex Hormozi did with Gym Launch, he got 300 plus clients with Gym Launch with incredibly low churn, like less than 4% churn of those 300 people, which is incredible. That's like less than 15 people that have churned from those 300. And he was making millions with that. If you want that level, if you want at least 10% of that level that he was doing, which is 100K, 200K, 300K a month, then you cannot fall into the pit of thinking that this is about you, because it's not. The moment it's about you, with the niche, with the offer, is the moment that you're going to lose, because you're going to think it's about you, but it's not. So I just want to bring my point across very clearly, because it's super important. I see so many people struggling with this, and they just get stuck completely on the niche side of things, because they all think it's about them. It's not about you. No one gives a shit about you. With all due respect, again, care about your clients, care about what they want. On a scale of 1 to 10, how big is their pain point? How big is the chance that they are willing to pay for that what you're offering? If it's big, you have a niche. If it's not, you've got to look deeper and go a layer deeper in what they want. Now, there's also a thing that we're going to do in the worksheet I'm going to show you in just a second. It's called the competitor awareness. Now, I noticed that a lot of people that when they join this program, they have the instance which is similar to me, like I don't have competitors. But everyone has competitors. You cannot say you don't have competitors. Everyone has competitors, and you can try to be in a field of your own, which is great, but you're always going to have people doing something similar with you that you don't know of, or know of that you can take inspiration of. So it's a big mistake thinking in a way that there's no competitors or that we ignore competitors. I think competition is good unless you look at it in a jealous way, like, oh, this person is doing that, so I need to do it. Or you look at it as like a FOMO way, like, oh, they're doing better than me, and then I need to do, I don't look at it like that. I look at it more as if, I'm taking inspiration from them. I'm looking at them, and then I'm like, okay, so I could maybe take this thing, and then this thing, and then take some inspiration here and there, and do this, and then take it for my own business and then apply it, right? So what you must know is you got to know who is targeting your niche, because there's probably other people doing already what you're doing, maybe not in the same country, but maybe in the specific continent, maybe in the state, maybe in the country, right? There's also someone in terms of what they promise. You should know what they promise. You should know how they position. You should know where they are weak, right? You should know that. So you should go to things like their website, their ads. You should go to their social media profiles, YouTube. You opt in for their emails, see what they're talking about, to who they're talking to, what they're doing. And you do, but a lot of them don't. So you gotta understand that you don't win by being better. You win by being different, right? A lot of times most of the times in our info space, someone has already done it before. Like 95% of the time, someone has already done it before. You sell a mindset coach to women, oh, Tony Robbins already done it a long time ago. You sell marketing agencies services, Iman Gachi with his own agency has sold it like 7 years ago. He had an agency, right? So there's been people doing it already. So instead of you wasting time on doing something that has already been done, why not just focus on what they're doing and just being different than what they do and adding things to your niche so you understand them better than what they are doing? It's way easier, right? And you win on competitor awareness on that part. And that's where the positioning comes to play towards the niche. So the question comes, why should someone choose you? And it comes down to your angle, your mechanism, your message, your positioning. And if this is also unclear from your understanding of the niche, well, then you're going to price, competition, right? But if it's clear, you're going to have value dominance. So that means people are not going to compete. You're not going to compete on price with your competitors. Because people will know that your angle is different. You speak differently to them because you know what competitors are doing, so you took a different stance. Right? So whilst all of my clients or all of the people in my space were talking as a guru in front of the camera, I decided, let me take all of my clients, because I have a lot of client success stories, let me place them in front of the people. And it worked tremendously well. Maybe you're sitting here having watched an interview from me because I'd let my clients speak, not me. So I don't compete on price. I could ask 20K for the program. People would pay it because they see the value of it. So I dominate on value, and that's what I want you to do as well, right? So the goal of this module is that by the end, you want to have a clear niche or a clearer niche if you already have one, a clear problem that the niche has, a clear market understanding of your niche, and a clear positioning. So this becomes then, and this goes into your offer, your messaging, your ads, your funnel, which are all the next modules and phases that we're going to be doing, right? So with that being said, there is a worksheet that I have created for you that I want to share with you that you need to complete. So it's called the Niche Research and Market Domination Worksheet. I might have named it a little bit different. So take your time. This is not a quick exercise because this will determine your exact growth. So I'll just name it like this really quick. So we have it. So this is the Niche Research and Market Domination Worksheet. And what the purpose of this document is, and I'll give you the instruction here so you can watch that, is you need to define a clear, scalable niche. You need to understand your market at a deeper level. You need to identify real problems, people that people will pay to solve, right? And you want to build a foundation for your offer, messaging, and positioning. So before you go to the next modules, you need to make this. If you don't make it, you're going to have a very difficult time scaling. I'm being very honest with you, okay? So this is one of the things you need to make in order for you to also have real clarity and strategy, which you're going to have with me on the calls that we're going to have in the Q&As. And I want you to go ahead and make a copy of this document. So you can click on here, and then on the top left, you can go and click on make a copy. And then once you make a copy, you can put it in your own drive. And make sure to put it in the drive under the foundations folder so we can also see it, so we don't have to request any access to it. Now, with that being said, you're going to go through this document, you're going to watch the video instruction and have a clear objective. You're going to fill this out from yourself, and you're going to use AI and use your strategic brain that I told you about. If you haven't watched the previous module, please do that, because we're going to use this to make the niche, and I'm going to explain to you how to use it in this specific document to save you a ton of time, like insane amounts of time, okay? So your starting point is going to be these things. So what I would do if I were you, I would go, make a copy of this document, and then once you have the worksheet, you can give your answer here, right? So answer can be here, answer here, and then from this one, you can answer here, right? So that's it, right? Now, to give you an idea on these answers, this is for you, right? So this is, I'll pretty much specify questions for you specifically. So you answer this for yourself. You answer what's your real reason why you want to do it? That's your starting point. What's currently stopping you? Why is marketing necessary for you? You got to understand yourself as well before you get into the niche. And then we go into part 2. So define your niche. Who is your niche? So what is the niche in one sentence or max 2? What is their current situation? You fill that out. What is their desired situation? What is the gap between these two? Right? Deep market understanding. What keeps them awake at night? What are their top frustrations? What are they afraid of? What do they secretly desire? What do they currently earn? What do they spend? Team structure, profit margins, language. How do they talk?
competitor awareness. Who else is targeting the niche? What are they offering? Where are they weak? We're going to do deep research on all the competitors. I'm going to show you how to do that. Part 7 is the opportunity and the positioning. And part 8 is your niche equation. I want you to be able to fill out, I help this niche to achieve this result by this offer. Okay? So I'll put it like this. The offer and then the niche, right? So what is your ideal offer for this niche? And then finally the submission, all right? So I want you to go through this document. It's a very, very important document. And it's one of the most crucial ones that we're going to be having other than the other ones in this entire phase, okay? So once you do this document, you complete it, you make your own copy of it, you open the worksheet, you complete it fully, and then you post in school. So you open it, make a copy, put it in the foundations folder so we can see it. You can make it as like document 1, so 1 point, and then your niche document, niche market worksheet. And then you complete it fully, you use AI for research, and then post in school community, hey team, I finished my niche marketing worksheet, please review and give us the link to it. Paste the link in it so we can go to it immediately. Now, I could make this module 4 hours. I'm just being very honest. I don't want to make it 4 hours because assuming you already have some clarity about your niche, I want to make it as efficient as possible for you so you get a better idea of who you're targeting and who you're speaking with. Now, it's going to help you a ton if you go through this and if you clearly understand all the things that I mentioned to you, the deeper layers, you go deeper. You answer these questions on behalf of your potential clients. You try to understand the market. You take minimum 2 hours, 3 hours to understand them fully. And then you go to the next module, which will be about ICP, and you get to understanding of like your ideal client. Like now you have the niche, and then who do we want to target? Who is our ideal client that we want to attract from that niche? Because there will be also people in the niche that we don't want to work with. They'll be going to be very difficult to work with. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in the next module. For now, take the worksheet, clarify your niche, go deeper. And I cannot wait to share the next module with you, which will be very, very big depth in the worksheet on ideal client and understanding where your potential clients are. Now, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.